G'day friends! Welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. This is going to be let's get comfies. This is going to be a 100-day project video. I know it's already finished, don't tell me that, I already know. You're still going to get these videos anyway. So I filmed the whole thing, and I, just for posterity's sake, lost that word, I want to have it on YouTube. The whole 100, 1 to 100, all of the images up here. There won't be a ton in this one. I'm going to keep this video kind of short and simple because I only want to talk about one thing. It has nothing to do with the challenge. Has everything to do with today. Today's Tuesday, and if you've seen on my Instagram, I just posted a little number. It was number 44 at the Knott's Scary Farm auditions. And I just wanted to let you know how that went because I'm making more of an effort to share my journey. I hate the term journey, especially when people on YouTube say it, but I'm doing it today. My dance journey, my journey back to dance. So the Cliff's Notes version, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this before, but just in case you hadn't, straight out of high school, I danced for 7 years, and then I got hit by a taxi van in St. Martin on my last contract, working on a cruise ship, and then I had 7 years, not off, but I transitioned careers to focus on art and journaling, and do JLB Creative and everything that enter for the past 7 years. And last Christmas, I went back to dancing. I was also trying to dance throughout that 7 years, it just wasn't working out for me. But last year was the first time it worked out, and I joined Disneyland as a parade dancer in the Christmas parade. And yeah, and so that's how we got back to dancing. And I've been auditioning for tons of stuff since because, I mean, once you have a taste, like, the parade was just, it was kibble. It was just a little bit, and now I need the full 32-course degustation menu because I have an insatiable appetite to keep performing. I've always had that. I mean, the 7 years that I wasn't dancing felt like 7 years of not dancing. It was very difficult. I struggled with that in a lot of different ways, but, you know, since Christmas parade obviously finished because Christmas was over, I did that cavalcade for about a month, and then that was finished because it was only supposed to run for a month. I haven't been dancing since then, and I guess having that teeny tiny little few months of experience after 7 years of not having anything has really, like, I literally feel like it's changed the composition of my soul. Like, I don't think I'll ever be the same person. I am so ferociously going after anything and everything that, I mean, I'm submitting for things I don't think I'm right for, but I'm just putting myself out there. I'm going to every corner of every audition I feel like might be an opportunity that I could turn up to and enjoy, and just seeing what happens. And I've adopted an attitude recently. If you were with my Playtest Patreon group, you probably heard a lot of this and know a lot more of the context, but you know, I was saying that I feel okay if I have something to look forward to, and this audition today was the thing I was looking forward to for a while. So now I've got to look forward to the next thing, which is good. I have a callback next week, so I've got another week of looking forward to something. But as long as I have something in my sights to prepare myself for, I don't tend to lose all that motivation. I don't, you know, kind of wallow in self-pity and, you know, just cry all the time. Not that I do that often, just once or twice a week, but yeah, so the long and short of it is I've just been throwing myself out there and just seeing what happens. And my kind of new idea is, because a lot of the time, like, I mean, you get to choose what you want to audition for. I'll look at things and I'll think, I'm not right for that. Like, they're not going to cast any fat dancers. And I'm allowed to say it because I'm saying it about me. If you're a fat dancer, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know what to say, actually. I really don't know what the politically correct term is. I say fat dancer, but I'm exclusively talking to myself. Plus size dancer, dancer with larger body, take your pick. So I will usually discount myself for that because I think I know that job, or I've seen everyone that performs that job. That is not for someone with a larger body. It's just not typically like that. But also, you know, in the past 10 years, a lot of strides have been made for inclusivity and diversity in casting. And so I started to think, well, you know, maybe they do want to try it, and maybe I'll just turn up and they'll be like, hey, maybe we do want someone with a larger body to try this. And I shouldn't take myself out of the running I'll let them do it. They're casting directors. That's literally their job, to either put you in or take you out. So why am I doing their job for them? So I've just decided to keep submitting myself for things, which has, kept me a little bit busy in the past few weeks. I have to say, I've been enjoying that kind of little hustle that goes along with it. I don't know if I'd want it to, put the food on my table, because there's a lot of job insecurity when it comes to dance. I never felt that way beforehand, because I was always doing contracts, and I usually had a contract to go to whilst I was on a contract. So I always knew like where the next paycheck was coming 9 months down the line. This world that I live in here in Southern California, with theme park entertainment and gig work and seasonal work, this is a lot scarier to me. Like, I don't know how some of my friends do it. They make it work, and it's amazing, but I always have to be very thankful for the fact that I have JLB Creative and I have you guys here watching this video, because I don't think I think I'd live a very different life. I might never see my family in Australia again if I was just relying on all of it to kind of fund my life. But having said that, it's really not about money. If I did things just for money, I'd be doing a lot of different things. But dance is just something I really, really love. And I just feel like I feel so energized to keep going. I've been going to classes with my friends. I've been paying for classes. You can call it training, if you will. I don't really like that term, because I don't know why I feel that it makes it all too real or whatever, but whatever. It is real. So I'm putting myself out there. And then this audition was actually something that I was looking forward to for a while, because I had heard from the last audition I went to for Knott's Berry Farm that they were planning this big Knott's Scary Farm event, kind of lots of entertainment, lots of everything going on, because it's their 50th. And so I got to see a lot of the breakdown of what it all was today, and there were a few opportunities that I can be in the running for, and I'm happy to say that I did make it all the way through today, and I have a callback. They weren't supposed to have a callback, but way too many people, not too many, a lot of people, they can never really be too many for a casting director, but a lot of people turned up to the audition today, so I was kind of watching the time. I was like, we're not going to be out of here by 1 o'clock. Because 1 o'clock, a whole other group of people were coming in to audition for something else. So, unfortunately, their idea of getting it all auditioned and cast today did not happen. And we were asked if we could come back next week for a callback. I don't have anything going on next Wednesday. At least I don't think I do. And if I do, hang on, I literally have my thing here. Nope. Great. Good for me. I was like, if Steve needs me, will not be available. But yeah, that means that I get to go back and we just get to look at more skills on display. Sorry, there's a fire engine. Goodbye, fire engine. But yeah, we went in. I saw a lot of my friends from Disneyland. That was really nice. A lot of what I miss about performing is obviously the dancing, but I miss the social aspect of it as well. I've made no secret of the fact that sometimes I go a little crazy sitting in here with the cats just talking to a camera. But it was nice to see a lot of people today, a lot of familiar faces, and have the opportunity to dance. And it was a really interesting audition, because this was for the first time I've ever auditioned like in the space. So we actually auditioned in the theater at Knott's Berry Farm. So we had to go to their cast member entrance and then get escorted into the theater. And we were just kind of like warming up in the aisles and at the front of the stage. And then we had tons of people that were there. So we had to go in 3 pretty large groups of like 50 each, but we did it on the stage. Like the audition panel was on the stage. They had all these mirrors at the back, very chorus line tees. And then we learnt the combination. The first one was more of it was actually kind of jazz, like technique jazz mixed with a bit of commercial jazz, I would say. That's what I'll call it. And it was fun. It was really fun to do. I think the most fun for me was that I was dancing on a stage again. Like, I haven't actually been on a stage in a long, long time and been performing on a stage. When I went back to parades, I'm dancing on the parade route, which goes right through Disneyland. And dancing on Main Street is an incredible feeling, but it is a very different experience to dancing on stage. Like, it's just a whole different set of environments. And I guess the thing that I kind of, it's going to sound so cheesy. If you know me in real life, log off before you hear me say this, because I'll never live it down. But like, I just forgot what it felt like to have like the stage lights on my face. The warm glow of the stage. How embarrassing for me. I really did. I really felt it. I was like, I need to capture this feeling because I need to journal about it later, so I'll never forget it. But it felt really good. It felt really special. I just, it's been so long, and that was one of those things that even though I went back to dancing, it was just like one of those really random sense memory things that I felt like I'd completely forgotten what it feels like, how hot they are. Those stage lights are so hot. What it's like to be on a stage and looking out into a theater, and there were people like all for the next group, so it was like we had a pseudo audience as we were auditioning, which can make people feel uncomfortable. Honestly, I love it, the more the merrier. But yeah, we did that first round, and they were doing pretty substantial cuts throughout the set. So like as the first 40-50 people went up, they would cut from that group, then they'd go and hang out, and then the next one, I was in the second group, so we went through there, and then they made a round of cuts, and I got to stay, and then the third group, and then after that they taught us a whole other routine afterwards, which was very Charleston, very 1920s, did a Great Gatsby looking thing, which I actually thought was really fun. It was really cute. I enjoyed that, and I don't know. They did separate a few people out after that. I'm not quite sure what the distinction was, because at that point I think everyone was kind of being considered for something, because they're casting for a lot of different things. It doesn't mean everyone will get offered a job, but everyone's kind of in the running. If you're still there, if you haven't been cut, you're still in the running. But then they asked if we could come back for a callback next week. So there's a whole other section that they have to teach that will just show off more of the skills they want to use in the show, and be a bit more specifically geared to testing all the things they didn't really get to see us do today. And I guess, whoever ends up making it, I don't think some people can make it, so I don't know what happens there. Because it's not something they'd originally asked for, so some people just don't have availability. Like, the reality is, these auditions, I mean, they come when they come, but if you can't be available, it's like, you kind of miss out for that whole season. If you can't make it to this one day, and then maybe if you can't make it to the callback that you didn't know about, like, you just miss out. It's hard. I feel really, feel a lot for people who do this 24/7. I mean, I'm one of those people, but I'm like, some people put food on their table with this job, and it is a hard life out there trying to secure your money this way. It's interesting because when I worked on contracts, I felt like I had, the 6 to 9 months of the contract, and then I would always know what I was doing next. So I would either budget some money to, last for the 2 months in between contracts, or I kind of knew how it was all going to fall in line. And I didn't have an apartment because I was on cruise ships or in Tokyo, and we didn't need one. And I didn't have a phone because I didn't really need one of those. And I didn't have bills anywhere. I didn't have a car. I had an old car that I had when I was a teenager, but none of it really mattered. I was so untethered, and I was so free of bills and anything that was kind of hanging on, that as far as paying for my life as a dancer, it actually seemed very easy. Even when I was on contract, on a cruise ship, they'll feed you as well. So I didn't even have to worry about buying food. I always felt very taken care of, and it wasn't until I moved here and got married that I was like, how do people on land live? You have to pay for everything. You have to take yourself everywhere. How does a car get fixed? I had no idea. I still don't know how to do that. Steve does that, but which is crazy because my stepdad's a mechanic, so I should probably know how to do it. But you don't. If he's the mechanic, then he fixes it, so I don't need to know. But anyway, my heart goes out. Condolences to all the full-time performers out there just making it happen. I swear, you don't do it unless you're really passionate about it, because it is a hard feeling to put yourself out there constantly, and especially when you need a job. I really get it. I get the chorus line, I really need this job now. I didn't get it when I was a teenager. I just thought it was an annoying song, but now I really understand how heartfelt that sentiment is. You just do it because you just feel like you have to go and do it. I said to Steve, when it gets really hard for me, sometimes I actually pray that God will take away my desire to dance, because I think it would just make my life a whole lot easier. You put yourself out there to be rejected, or you put yourself out there to be judged, or everything gets critiqued. Your face gets critiqued. How old do you look? How masculine do you look? What does your body look like? How are you going to wear the costumes? What are you appropriate for? Well, we need these 2 tricks. Can you do those 2 tricks? No. Oh, well, suddenly we're not interested anymore. Auditioning is a scary thing. I've always had a lot of delusional confidence, so I think I've escaped a lot of the drama and the sore feelings I probably could have had throughout my life. I've definitely had terrible auditions that have scarred me, but that's not for here. I'll tell you in person if you ever want to know. It's just it's a big thing to go and do. So I always try to make myself feel proud for at least putting myself out there, and especially for things that I don't necessarily feel like I'm right for. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I'm not going to say no to myself. They can see where I fall, and it also serves as a good, reminder to me that, my feelings about life is so philosophical. We don't need to go here, but I always feel like it doesn't matter. I'm not afraid to be seen trying. I heard that quote somewhere, and I just thought it was such a great quote. I really am not. I'm not afraid to be seen trying and failing, and that my best is always good enough, and it's good enough for me. It may not be good enough for somebody else, but my best is, it has to be good enough for me, because that is the only way I can get through. And doing my best at this point, it does look like just going, doing my training as best as I can do it, making my best health efforts, and turning up and like giving it everything I got, and being safe about it as well. That's something that I kind of have to remind myself, because like I'll be willing to break a leg for something. I'll throw myself off the stage if they ask, but I have to also bring it back and be like, doing my best also looks like taking care of myself, making sure that I'm doing it sustainably, and all those things. And at least, when it doesn't work out, you can always go back to, well, like, I couldn't have done anything more. Like, I really did the best I could do. And it's so subjective. I mean, I used to think that statement meant, like, if you're doing the best you can do, that it looked like 150,000% effort at all times, go, crazy thing. Like, you're basically Rocky training for the big fight, going into an audition for something. And so I used to actually feel quite guilty, because I was like, well, I feel like I'm doing the best that I can do, but I know I'm not going to be 60 pounds thinner by, next week. Like, that's just not going to happen. So even the best I can do, like, am I already up against a hurdle? Like, what am I supposed to do about that? How do I rationalize that? And then I think, well, the best I can do is do what I've been doing. I've been working on my fitness and my health at a very manageable pace, in a really, like, sustainable way, because I was changing my patterns of behavior. I wasn't just going on crash diets. I was fixing issues that I had with food that would lead to weight loss, but very, very slowly, and like in a very controlled way. And so I always have to kind of like rein my brain in, because I feel like I can get kind of crazy when I think like, oh, if I've got to go to a callback next week, I mean, I just won't eat until Wednesday. And then I think, great, well, you'll show up and you'll faint, and that will be the worst you could do. So sometimes the best I can do is to, continue at a slow pace. That would be the best thing for me, but it doesn't seem like that. It used to feel like that's just a cop out. Like, now you can really put the pedal to the metal. You can just go. That's just not necessarily true. So, it's all a little subjective, but I really do feel like I'm doing the best that I can do. And that is something that frees me from a lot of the pain of like not making it, or not getting it, or not being where I want to be. At least I can throw my hands up at the end of the day, and I don't sit and fixate on things that I could have done instead. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I really do think like I really could have just stopped eating McDonald's 5 years ago, but if it wasn't McDonald's, it would have been something else. So, I was trying, I was doing my best. I was definitely trying. But yeah, life's funny, isn't it? I just wanted to get on here and tell you I had a wonderful day at my audition, and I can't wait to get my little 44 sticker into my journal. I have a bunch of audition stickers in there at this point. Maybe it's an omen, because I didn't get those other jobs. No, don't say that. I'll wait to put the sticker in until the callback's over. Look, I can just take that I felt happy today, and then I've got another reason to prepare to dance again next week. I'm sure I will let you know how that goes as well. And thank you so much for your continued support with everything I do dance-wise. I know it's a complete departure from what you are originally here for, and obviously I'm still very much committed to JLB Creative and everything we're doing around here. We just released our Daisy Style workshop, which is doing wonderfully. I'm really happy with what I've been seeing so far. Sorry, do I have sweat, or is my nose running? Better go. Yeah, I'm still so thankful that I have all of my JLB creative world, and I enjoyed so much mixing the two from my own personal, experience over Christmas, and I'm really looking forward to doing that again. So whenever that is, I will let you know. Until then, have a great day, and don't say anything about the stage light thing. Like, I don't want to hear it. Don't make a comment of it. Don't clip it. Don't send it to Steve. I will shut my whole YouTube down if I get so much as one person laughing at me from that comment. I was just being honest. I have a lot of feeling. All right, see you later. Bye.